Good morning. Welcome to the RCAF Foundation launch. All audience members will have their camera and audio turned off on mute. There will be an opportunity to ask questions through the chat function. Please welcome Jeremy Diamond, CEO of the RCAF Foundation, who is today's MC. Jeremy.
Bonjour and merci de vous joindre à nous. My name is Jeremy Diamond, and I am CEO of the Royal Canadian Air Force Foundation, Fondation de l'Arc. Welcome and bonjour to our audience. Please stand, if you're able, for our national anthem. Thank you to those wonderful, talented cadets for that impressive rendition of the national anthem. We look forward to working with cadets and their communities and families in the near future. While we are in a digital space, we welcome people from across the country and around the world. As we get started with this event and our organization, I want to personally acknowledge where I am, in Toronto, on land called Turtle Island. In these days of COVID, wherever we reside, I think in one way or another, many of us have developed a deeper connection to the outside and to the land and spent more time exploring nature and our surroundings. It is in that vein that I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and what is now home to many diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Thank you for joining us. Nous sommes très heureux de lancer la Fondation avec vous tous aujourd'hui. It is now my great pleasure to introduce retired Lieutenant General Michael Hood, former commander of the Royal Canadian Air Force, to provide some insight into the origins of the RCAF Foundation. Mike, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Jeremy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by offering my personal thanks to those of our CEO and board for your interest in joining us today for the official launch of the RCAF Foundation. Mesdames et Messieurs, permettez-moi tout d'abord d'offrir mes remerciements personnels à ceux de notre PDG et de notre conseil d'administration pour votre intérêt à vous joindre à nous aujourd'hui pour le lancement officiel de la Fondation de l'Aviation Royale Canadienne. You know, my beautiful wife, Maurice, always gets a chuckle when I speak about the Royal Canadian Air Force these days. And despite being retired for almost 3 years now, I still use terms like we when discussing the Air Force as if I'm still a serving member. I loved serving my country. I loved being the face of Canadian commitment and generosity in my many missions abroad. And I loved all those men and women with whom I had the privilege to serve. I'm so happy now today to be part of giving back to an institution to which I owe so much. Back in 2017, when I was commander of the Royal Canadian Air Force, we began to think about the Air Force centennial that was coming to us in 2024 and the type of support we would require to do justice to honoring this vital national institution on its 100th anniversary. I reached out to John Wright, who was then an honorary colonel in the Air Force, and asked if he would help me establish an arm's length, not-for-profit foundation that would help us honor the RCAF in celebrating its marvelous legacy, but also one that would look forward and ensure that it provided meaningful support in the years that followed. This early groundwork was supercharged last summer with the help of two great friends of the Air Force, Bob Quartermain and Tom Jenkins. And collectively, our efforts, along with the incredibly generous support of our founder circle and the energy of our new CEO, Jeremy, have brought us to where we find ourselves today, officially launching the RCAF Foundation. The Royal Canadian Air Force holds a unique place in the fabric of our country, from fighting offshore when required, to mapping the great expanse of Canada in the 30s and 40s, from coast to coast to coast, providing life-saving search and rescue response 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, to being the guarantor of Canadian sovereignty whenever required. Your Air Force has been there for Canada, and I am so proud to now be among you supporting the great men and women of the RCAF. You know, it's no secret that three of our founding members, myself included, got our starts as young teenagers in the Air Cadet program. We are pleased that the Foundation will make a strong point of supporting the RCAF Association and the National Cadet Program as they help shape young Canadians into strong citizens of our great country. En terminant, j'aimerais ajouter que cette fondation représente pour moi, ainsi que pour les autres membres fondateurs, un moyen de souligner la fierté qui nous anime lorsque nous réfléchissons aux relations du passé, mais aussi le respect que nous ressentons envers nos institutions, ainsi qu'envers les femmes et hommes qui les servent avec honneur et dignité. Thank you so much for joining us today. Jeremy, back to you.
Thanks so much, Mike, for all your support, your leadership. You've really been the driving force to get this started, and we're really, really excited that we launched today with you at the helm. I look forward to continue to work closely with you in the months and years to come and really contributing to what we all think is going to be a wonderful opportunity to share the stories then and now of the RCAF. I would now like to ask John Wright, the chair of the RCAF Foundation Board of Directors, to share some more information about our mission of the organization, as well as to make a special announcement. John, take it away.
Thanks, Jeremy, and to Mike. Welcome to all of you to the official launch of the Royal Canadian Air Force Foundation. The mission of the Foundation is to recognize, foster, and celebrate the RCAF through community engagement, education programs, and commemorative activities, and purposely to inspire Canadians, particularly young Canadians, to learn about and support both this treasured national institution and the future of aviation and aerospace. What an incredibly exciting time to be part of this new venture, not only as we prepare to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the RCAF in 2024, but also as we begin an unprecedented era of space exploration where astronauts and celestial pathfinders from the ranks of the RCAF will literally fuel humankind's future. Our foundation rests on 5 important pillars. The first is support. We will work closely with like-minded people and organizations to help celebrate and honor the men and women and their families who have been and continue to be the heart and soul of the Royal Canadian Air Force. The second is partnerships. We will work with others to help attract needed skill capacity and symbiotic career pathways throughout the aviation and aerospace community and the RCAF. The third is youth engagement. To develop innovative ways for youth, our incredible cadet students of aviation, and young professionals to learn about, be inspired by, and stay connected to the RCAF as they find their place in the world. The fourth is community. To work closely with civic leaders and neighborhoods across Canada to celebrate local connections to and contributions of the RCAF and its people at home and abroad. And fifth is to preserve and promote the RCAF heritage, to help support the acquisition, restoration, and maintenance of historical artifacts, and to commemorate moments and memories that make this institution and its people indelible. Our foundation is not a benevolent charity. There are many who already fill that space. As a former chair of Wounded Warriors Canada and a former founding director of Canada Company, I know the incredible work that they and others like them undertake for our veterans and their families, and I encourage all of you to support them in any capacity that you can. Our foundation begins a journey today that will extend over the next 10 years to build an enduring platform. The 2024 RCAF Centennial will be a milestone along the way and not an end destination, because our efforts will be perpetual. There are many who deserve to be recognized today as we launch this great adventure, and they include former RCAF Commander Michael Hood, who you just heard from, who on his watch encouraged and helped enable the establishment of this foundation. In civilian life, he and our other cornerstone members, including former RCAF Honorary Colonel Tom Jenkins and current RCAF Honorary Colonel Bob Quarterman, have done much to secure our future through their efforts over the last few months. Thank you, gentlemen, for everything you have contributed. We are also grateful to our founders circle, the initial supporters who include Bill Morris, Meg Sincel, and Stu Beer from Accenture, who in fact gave us our very first corporate sponsorship, as well as Sean Rusin, Mike Slonwhite, Bruce Bowser, David Ippolito, Jonathan Odd, and Marin Katsua, and Jeff Stibbard, along with the BMO Financial Group, CAE, the Peter and Joanne Brown Foundation, the Mistera Foundation, and AMJ Campbell Limited. Thank you all for your generous support that has allowed us to establish the foundation on a firm financial footing. I'd also like to recognize the ongoing support that we've had from the command team at the Royal Canadian Air Force, led by Lieutenant-General Al Meintzinger, Commander of the Royal Canadian Air Force, and General Scott Howden, Special Advisor to the Commander, Maureen Harquell, our inaugural chair, Dean Black, National Executive Director of the RCAF Association, who has been integral to our establishment, former Major General Dave Fraser, Dave Rohrer at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, Kevin Windsor at the National Air Force Museum in Trenton, our Corporate Secretary and Director, Patrick Shea, and our initial board directors, Mike Jenkins, Jerry Portra, and Mike Bonner. And our foundation communications and design team of Victoria Olders, Jeff Munn, Richard Ponsonby, and Jennifer Blake, who have given a form and shape to an idea whose time has come. Finally, to mark this moment, I'm pleased to announce the following celebratory initiatives for the foundation. First, we will financially contribute to the Royal Canadian Air Force Association immediately so they can meet their entire 2021 fundraising goal and bring their trust portfolio to a total of $300,000, which is annually leveraged to award cadet flight training scholarships. Second, we will be awarding a total of $21,000 scholarships by mid-August of this year to young people pursuing a Canadian post-secondary institution STEM area of study that's in either science, technology, engineering, or mathematics that could lead to a future role in areas related to the fields of either aviation or aerospace. And while the application criteria for these scholarships will be posted to our website by the end of May, the scholarships are destined to be awarded in the following ways. 10 $1,000 scholarships will be awarded to young men and women whose parents are either current or former serving members of the Royal Canadian Air Force. 5 $1,000 scholarships will be awarded to young women. And 5 $1,000 scholarships will be awarded to young people who self-identify as either Black, Indigenous, or person of color, a member of a visible minority, an individual who is LGBTQ2S, or a person with disability. These and other announcements will be posted to our official site that is now live right now at rcaffoundation.ca. And I invite all of you to take a tour of our website. Again, rcaffoundation.ca to learn more about us and our path ahead. The projects and programs that we are currently formulating are due in large part to the very generous financial contributions that have been made to date. And with our launch today, we welcome any and all to help either sponsor or shepherd our further activities in the months and years ahead. In closing, let me say that the following on behalf of all of us with respect to this new foundation. To the men and women and their families who have been the lifeblood of the Royal Canadian Air Force over the past 97 years, we thank you for everything you have done and sacrificed for all of us. May this foundation provide the awareness, celebration, and commemoration of your incredible contributions and sacrifices, and may it encourage others to join in the adventure of being part of the RCAF and the broader callings within the professions related to aviation and aerospace. Per ardua ad astra. I'd like to hand back the proceedings to Jeremy, our founding CEO. Jeremy Diamond has already had a distinguished career in foundation leadership management and stewardship, and we are incredibly fortunate to have him join us to lead us forward. Jeremy is formerly the Director of Programs for the Dominion Institute, Managing Director for Historica Canada, and Executive Director of the Vimy Foundation, and even most recently, the CEO of Museum Toronto. He's also currently the chair of the board of directors for the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. So it's another sign that with this background that he has and his achievements, our foundation is already batting 1,000 before we've even stepped up to the plate. But Jeremy, welcome aboard, and we look forward to being with you on this journey ahead.
Thanks so much, John, and so excited to start this off with you, and even more excited for the announcements that you just made. We're so thrilled to be able to move forward with this commitment to the community, to the Air Force community, and to Canada at large. We really feel that this is an important role for the foundation, not only as we get started, but will continue to be as we roll along over the next number of years. At today's launch, we are thrilled to unveil our new logo and brand, which looks back to the nearly 100 years of the Royal Canadian Air Force, inspired by that classic rondelle imagery that many of you know, but also forward, over the horizon and into the future. This identity reflects the purpose to inspire Canadians to learn about and support this important national institution, and highlight the future of Canadian aviation, ensuring its dynamic growth and expansion. I am so thrilled and excited to unveil it now. Let's have a look. I wish I could hear the cheers throughout this this live stream, but I'm not able to. But we're really thrilled again to do that nod to the past, but look to the future. Inspired by the past, but looking into the future. So feel free to check out our website. As John said, you'll see this everywhere now, and we're very excited to share it with those on this call for the first time today. Inspired by this exciting logo and look and feel and look to the future, I am happy to announce our first public campaign called the #OneDayIWill Challenge, through which we will ask young people from across Canada to share with us their hopes for the future in one short 10 to 20 second video clip on Instagram. Where will your dreams take you? What do you want to accomplish? What impact do you want to make? Please have a look at this sneak peek.
Hi everyone, I'm Sergeant Wang and I'm from 632 Phoenix Squadron. The Air Cadet program has taught me to get out of my comfort zone. One day I'll become part of this large, complicated society that we've built for ourselves. And although I'm not quite sure what career path I'll choose to follow, I know that the Air Cadet program has taught me so many redeeming qualities that'll help me out with whatever job I choose to pursue.
Hello, I am Flight Surgeon Alexander Anderson from 872 Kiwanis, Canada, Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron. Through the Air Cadets, I've learned air navigation, meteorology, as well as leadership and how to take the initiative within my community. One day I will become a pilot.
I'm Sergeant Air from 75 Barhaven Squadron.
The Air Cadet program has taught me determination, diligence, to never give up when I fail, and a wealth of aviation knowledge. Thanks to all this, one day I will become a commercial airline pilot.
Hello, my name is Warrant Officer 2nd Class Liam Bronsma from 706 Snowy Owls Air Cadet Squadron based in Ottawa. The cadet program has taught me things like leadership and integrity. One day I will become a helicopter pilot.
Hello, I'm Warrant Officer 2nd Class Risa Amani from 742 National Capital Air Cadet Squadron. The Air Cadet program has taught me leadership, the value of hard work, and also teamwork. One day, I will become a public health physician.
Hello, my name is Corporal Kovo from the 51 Canada Space and Aviation Museum Squadron. A few things I have learned while in the Air Cadet program are leadership, the workings of an aircraft, and the principles of flight. One day, I hope to become an air traffic controller.
Hi, I'm Corporal Anna Yang from 51 Canada Aviation and Space Museum Air Cadet Squadron. The Air Cadet program has taught me leadership and teamwork skills, as well as basic life skills like cooking. Although I can't be sure what career I'll take, I know thanks to cadets that one day I will contribute meaningfully to society.
Hi, my name is Wotu Sean Senavrana from 742 National Capital Squadron. Some things that I learned in the Air Cadet program include air law, the components of an aircraft, and just the overall inner workings of an aircraft. And one day I will become an aerospace engineer.
So inspiring. We're so happy to have those first 8 or 10 cadets, young people in Canada, join our One Day I Will Challenge. So make sure to follow us on Instagram and stay tuned for more details on the One Day I Will Challenge, including start date and prizes. I'm also proud to announce that to commemorate the upcoming centennial, the RCAF Foundation will publish a one-of-a-kind book that tells the story of the RCAF on its 100th anniversary through the eyes of 100 Canadians who have participated or witnessed its storied history, the people, the machines, the events. This is the story of courageous people, clever inventions, and global events that have shaped the world for the past century. It is also the story of the future, as we'll look forward to the next 100 years and the people, innovation, and events shaping the next generation of the RCAF as it moves further into technologies, space, and other frontiers. So stay tuned for those details in the lead up to the centennial. Finally, as John said, and we've mentioned, we're so excited to launch our new website, rcaffoundation.ca, where visitors can learn more about the RCAF Foundation, past projects that we've led or supported, get a glimpse into the future, our future plans, and also consider supporting our fundraising efforts. I encourage you also to check us out on social. We've launched our social campaigns over the last week on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and LinkedIn, and of course, share with your friends. To close the event, Mike and John and myself will be happy to answer any questions that may have come through over the last half an hour that you may have about the foundation and our plans.
Hi, Jeremy. I have a few questions that have come in. The first one says, congratulations. This is great news. Can you share more information on the RCAF Centennial and how people can watch and become involved?
John, did you want to answer that question about the Centennial? I've mentioned the book is an exciting project for us. We're looking forward to working with communities across the country, not only capital cities, but smaller and medium-sized communities across the country, really to encourage the telling of their stories and the honoring of their experiences. This is not a foundation that's located or centered in one city or in one province. It's a national bilingual organization. And so we look forward to, after our launch, to reach out to communities across the country, talk to them about what means the most to them in terms of their Air Force connection, history, and experience, and then develop projects that will lead up to the Centennial in 2024. But as John said, to me and to the Foundation, the Centennial is not a destination, but a milestone. It is an opportunity for us to launch activities and campaigns and projects and initiatives on that date, April 1st, 2024. But as much as that as it is to announce initiatives on that date that will continue for many years to come over this 10-year plus horizon that the foundation has set for itself. So I would say stay tuned. We're a couple of months into the work of the foundation. Plans are already starting, and we look forward to having those conversations across the country.
Next question. Again, looking for more information on the museums, aviation and science. Can you speak to that and share more information on that too, please?
Yeah, I think as we look across the country, not only the individuals and communities and cadets that are involved in the Air Force, but we have a set of wonderful aviation and warplane heritage museums that we've mentioned as part of this event. And I think there's a great opportunity to find out what those collections look like, you know, bring those artifacts and those stories out to the public. And if we can play a role to facilitate that and power that to happen with each of these museums across the country, that's very exciting for us. The lead will continue to come from the museums and the curators and the directors that do a wonderful job in those institutions. But if we can play a role to work with them and bring them together and tell these stories in a way that is engaging and exciting for different audiences, we love to play that role. And so again, we're starting to reach out to Dave Rohr and to Kevin and to others that have reached out to me at different museums across the country. And we're so excited to continue to have those conversations. Collections, aircraft, those stories, those oral histories, and those experiences that these museums have is essential for us to be able to share with the rest of the country and make sure that we do that online, on social, in person, and any other exciting and unique way that we can do it as we move forward.
Next question is about scholarships. It sounds like things are in the works. Is there anything else you want to share for students? They're open for all students, all youth. Is there an age limit, or are they students?
You know what, we're thrilled to have this as a cornerstone element because it recognizes not just the importance that these young people will play in connecting to aviation and aerospace. And as you heard in one of the videos, there are people who will end up as part of the aviation industry as opposed to just the RCAF. We have a real skills need in this country on both sides of that dimension. So it recognizes a few things. Number one, we will have a criteria which is posted by the end of May on our site, which will allow individual young people who are either entering or are currently in a post-secondary institution across this country who are pursuing a STEM. As we said, it's a particular pathway that will be helpful in our industry and to the RCAF. I think the second thing is that there are underrepresented groups throughout our society, and we've tried to encourage some recognition of that and also some stepping up for those individuals. And I would say that the scholarships, as we are beginning, are an initial celebration of our founding, but we'd like to find a way to move forward and continue their expansion and their offering. So I think it's really exciting that we're having this launched today, but I also think there's a lot more that we can do with it. So the criteria will be available on our site by the end of May. It will be for young people. It will be for those entering a post-secondary institution along a certain pathway. And in particular, it will also allow those who oftentimes maybe aren't recognized within our society for being able to fulfill very senior positions, that we can move them in that direction. So there will be more coming shortly.
Okay, thank you. Last question. How do I volunteer? Are you looking for board members? Are you looking for volunteers to help with initiatives, with projects? How do I volunteer?
You know, there are going to be a lot of ways in which people can volunteer because we have a good cadre of people who are coordinating a series of activities across the country. As an example, for the 2024 centenary, we're working with General Scott Howden, who heads up the RCAF Centenary Committee, and also Dean Black at the Royal Canadian Air Force Association. The three groups, in fact, are going to be working together to coordinate a whole series of activities leading up to that. And that will be posted on our websites. We will make sure that people are aware of where they get involved, because as Jeremy said, a lot of this will have a lot to do with neighborhoods and community activities. That is where we want to bring a lot of effort. Number two, we are forming an advisory council, and we will in fact be expanding our board over the next period of time. So, you know, there will be ways through our website where people can put forward not only their ideas, but also volunteer. And we really would welcome anybody across the country and beyond who wants to be part of this movement that we're creating today. So there'll be lots of spaces. As we said, this is a perpetual movement, not just something for the next couple of years. So we'll find a space for everybody, find a role in the organization.
Thanks so much, John and Mike, for your contributions, for your leadership and involvement in this organization as we get started. I want to thank everybody for joining us today online. I know things aren't easy a year into all of this, but to take a half an hour of your busy day to join us and celebrate with us the launch of this foundation, we're very grateful and very thankful. Please remember to give us a follow on social now that we're out in the public and official, again, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter and Instagram. Would love to hear from you and your thoughts. And we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you very, very soon in person and online and through our website. So please don't hesitate. Have a great day. We really appreciate it. Passe une bonne journée.